Do you hate the thought of working past 55 or 60? Do you hate not being able to live the life you deserve today? Do you hate not knowing what your financial future looks like? It's time to stop doing what you hate. Here's your host, Mr. Harold Green.
Hello, everybody. This is Harold Green of Bright Tree Wealth Management, and it is time to stop doing what you hate. I hope you are having a fantastic day today, and I'm looking forward to sharing today's episode with you folks. And the title of it is the number one mistake keeping you from retiring on time. And as I was just kind of thinking about how I wanted to present this conversation to you folks today, one thought came to my mind. And over the years that I've been doing this, I think I've been doing it for darn near 20 years now in the financial industry. I was going to school for IT, information technology, computer programming, and things like that. And I just kind of got bumped around in life and ended up in the financial industry. And over the years, I've been presented with many, many, many investment opportunities. I mean, bunches of them. And the question is how do you know which one is right for you? And how you know the investment strategy or the investment opportunity is right for you, it is going to be based on your long-term comprehensive financial plan. And if you don't have one, it can be an extremely dangerous situation. And so since we're going to be talking about investments, all investments do carry risk of loss. And before investing any money, make sure you do your due diligence, understanding your time horizon, and make sure you're investing according to a well-balanced, comprehensive financial plan that has all of your goals in mind. And trust me, this is how you will know which opportunity is right for you. But as I was getting ready to talk to you about this one thought came to my mind. And this is a big, big, big what-if scenario. And I said to you, hey, Johnny, I know you got all this money sitting on the sidelines. I know you sold all your portfolio and you're really scared to get back into the market. I know you need to retire in about 5 years, or you'd like to retire in 5 years, but because of this downturn, it just kind of looks like you're going to have to push that retirement back another 8, 9, maybe even 10 years. But Johnny, what if I told you that there is a potential opportunity for you to make a small investment that could potentially yield you 1,000% return in the next 3 years, and it's not going to cost you a lot of money? Maybe you invested $10,000, you do the math, and you could potentially have 1,000% return. Johnny, what would you say to me? You're probably going to say, Harold, you are effing crazy. This sounds way too good to be true. Get the hell off my phone, get the hell off my porch, get the hell out of my kitchen, my living room, or wherever we're meeting. Just be gone, because I think you are crazy. And I'm going to tell you a true story at the end of this conversation that has done just about that and more. But the other day, I had to go get my fingerprints done to get another license for another state, because a lot of times the different states want you to get your fingerprints done so they can run the FBI background investigation check to make sure you're not delinquent on child support or whatever it might be. You didn't rob a bank and no one knows about it. And I'm sitting there and it just kind of takes forever. Finally, the lady calls me in and she has me come to the back, and she's doing my fingerprints and she's rolling my finger around. And I had my stock tickers open on my phone. And she looked at my phone and she's like, oh, so you're one of those guys, huh? I said, yep. And she said, my husband just sold everything. And he said he's not buying back in until he feels everything is just settled down. And he has no idea when that's going to be. And the first thing in my mind was that, okay, shut up. Don't respond. Because I've learned that when people when they find out what I do for a living, they all kinds of things come out. Good things come out about the market, bad things come out about the market. But the one thing I thought about was, why did this man sell everything that he had in the market? Now, let me qualify this, because I have no earthly idea how much everything is for this man. He could have had $50,000 invested. He could have had $1 million invested. I don't know. But when she said he sold everything, one of the first things that came to my mind was, did his plan call for him selling everything in the market? Did he not have a plan? Did he not have a financial advisor that he's working with? Did he not have anybody to talk him off the ledge before he jumped? What was the situation here? And this is for a lot of people. I think that if they don't have a plan, it's going to lead to a lot of emotional decisions. And I'll talk about this in a second, but if you're working with someone and you're investing according to a long-term comprehensive financial plan that has all of your goals in mind, guess what happens when you sell everything? That long-term financial plan just gets extended. It gets extended a lot longer than it needs to be. Why? Because let me explain something here to you. If you are investing in the market according to a risk tolerance, and let's say the risk tolerance runs between a 1 and 100, 1 being conservative, 100 being super duper aggressive. And let's say you are in the middle, you're a risk score of 50. So your financial guy or girl or them, they, however you want to say it, they put together a plan for you based on a risk score of 50. And the risk score of 50 will generate about 6 or 7% return a year. And let's say that long-term financial plan called for you withdrawing out $100,000 a year, and you had about 1.5 million, or let's just say even $1 million. In order for that plan to not run out of money, okay, in order for that not to run out of money, you're going to need 10% a year. There's really no way a portfolio built on a risk tolerance number of 50 is going to generate that, because a 50 is moderate to moderate conservative in the investment world. You're going to need to have a risk tolerance of about a 65, 70, 75, 80 at best. Now, what happens when you sell everything, you are turning paper losses into real losses. Let's say you took a 20% bath in this downturn and you had $1 million. Now you're sitting on 800,000. Well, 10% is only 80,000. You're simply short. So understand what happens. You're going to have to catch up. And as I said it before, it takes on average 5 years just to get back to where you are. Now, here's what helps you. When the market takes a downturn, the comeback is very ferocious. And so you could see a 12% or 15% return for 5 years. You could potentially see that. And it's all based on when did you get back in. The problem is people sell very low and they buy really high, because when they sell low, it's purely emotional. When they buy high, it's emotional because they feel like, hey, everything looks good now. The coast is clear. And here's the funny thing about it. I've heard a lot of commentators talk about this on TV, but why is it a large percentage of people in the country don't get the timing right? You know, the market is low. You buy then. The problem is you don't know how much lower it's going to go. You really don't know where the bottom is. That's why you need a professional on your side to help you understand the bottoming of the stock market process. You'll have a bottom. You can have a double bottom. Okay. These are all technical things that your professional should be watching out for. But if you don't have a professional watching out for you and to help you keep those emotions in check, it's going to be a big problem. And one of the things I want to share with you, and this is what I have to do for myself all the time because I'm a professional, I have to share with my clients that they have to shut the news off and they have to trust the plan. I've never built a financial plan that calls for divesting of everything. I mean, everything. And the funny thing about this is, in a downturn, you can get defensive if you like. And being defensive doesn't mean you're sitting all in cash. You could pick up things like gold, silver, precious metals in your portfolio. It's you find what everybody's running to. And if you want to get defensive, you run there. But if you don't need all of that money right away, let's just say you only needed half of it in the next 10 years. Why would you look at the portfolio as if you needed everything in the next 5 years and you divested of all of it? Because in your mind, you're thinking, if I can just kind of save what I have right now, maybe I can make adjustments to my lifestyle. Maybe I can adjust my financial plan because, Harold, I really want to be able to sleep at night. I get that. I do understand that. But if I can call you Johnny, what I'd like to propose to you is this. The first thing you have to do in building your plan is you have to identify what your goals are. And then we have to work backwards from there. Say your goals are travel. Say your goals are time with the kids. Then we have to build the investment strategy that's going to help us accomplish that. We have to carve out a portion of your portfolio that we are dedicating towards that. So let's say you have a $2 million portfolio and you want to be able to spend, I don't know, $20,000, $30,000 a year on travel. Maybe we carve out $300,000 and we put that into a aggressive bucket, and we're looking to gain maybe 10 to 15% on that. So $300,000, 10%, that's your $30,000 a year. But how many years realistically are you going to be doing the traveling and spending the time with the kids or the grandkids? You may only want to do that for 5 or 10 years. Well, one of the things we can do is we can build that portfolio out and we can take advantage of the downturns in the market with that portfolio. But then your other money, we can put that on a more conservative basis because that's what you're going to need to live on a day to day basis. One of the things about risk tolerance is you can't apply the same risk tolerance to your entire portfolio. That is a big mistake. You can't apply the same risk tolerance to your entire portfolio. This is where it leads to portfolio failure. This is where it leads to people getting out of the market, getting back in at the same risk level. I mean, to really get to where you want to be, you might get out at a risk score of 50, but then you got to come back in at a risk score of 70 or 80, but then you might not be able to stomach that. That's where you need a coach, not only a financial advisor or a financial planner, but you also need a financial coach to help walk you through the psychological aspects of, Harold, what should I be doing in this market? Well, we watch the fear and greed index on CNN all the time. I watch that every single day. And as Warren Buffett said, when people are fearful, that's when you load up, you back up the truck and you buy well, efficient, well ran companies that are extremely efficient. They print money. You buy them. And here's what I submit to you. I've been buying these companies and I've done it through COVID. And I've had a lot of clients be able to retire. Not only did I help them recoup whatever their portfolio was down, basically we rotated the portfolio into very aggressive positions coming out of COVID because we knew that everybody was going to be locked down and at home. People who are locked down and at home and they're getting stimulus checks, what do? They shop. Guess where they shop? They shopped Amazon. Guess where they shopped? They shopped Apple. Guess what they did? They watched Netflix. I mean, we loaded up on these positions. And now we have a very similar opportunity coming out of this downturn with the tariff conversation to really potentially generate some massive returns. And I bought a Palantir option when it was all beaten up. And we can get into options another time if you're interested in talking to me. But that option was up 800, 900%. The NVIDIA options, when they were skyrocketing, when NVIDIA was going up to $1,500 a share, we made like 1,000% and a lot of those options. Some of our NVIDIA options now are still up 200, 300, and 400%. This is not a joke. If you want to know more, we can talk about that. But a lot of people out there are talking about retirement planning mistakes like, how do I know if I'm ready to retire? Like what are the most common mistakes people make in retirement? People are Googling these things. And this is funny because it tells me that they're not really working with anyone. And if you're working with someone, they should already be telling you the common mistakes that people make. So here's what I submit to you. I want you to stop guessing with your money. Visit brightfg.com to book a call and start your plan. Or you can, check out the next episode to learn why treasuries could be costing you more than you think. So I'm glad you're listening to me today. If your name is Johnny, I don't know anybody named Johnny per se. That's a fictitious name. I just simply made that up. But I do believe that there are going to be some tremendous investment opportunities very, very shortly. And we've already started taking advantage of them, not only to help our clients retire early, but to retire well and to just retire just knowing that they can live the life they want to live. I have clients that are traveling all over the world in this downturn. They're not calling me, asking me, Harold, how's my portfolio doing? Can I still go to, can I go to Europe? Can I still go to Australia? Can I still go to Africa? Can I go to Japan 5 times a year still? Can I come out here to Las Vegas and gamble, 6 or 7 times a year? And based on how I have them invested, the answer is yes, yes, yes. I had a question the other day, Harold, next year we're going to take our whole entire family on a Disney cruise and we need like 30 grand. Can we do that? And I said, let me think about that. The answer is yes. Why is the answer yes? Because I have these types of things, these types of moments built in to a long-term comprehensive financial plan. And we're taking advantage of the downturns in the market and we are getting potential great opportunities here moving forward. So stop guessing. Book your call with me. Visit brightfg.com. Let's get this thing back on track. And we don't have to invest the whole thing. We can take it slow and get you back up to speed. And then once you get comfortable with being coached, it's phenomenal. I started golf lessons a while back and it was good. Then I got more advanced with it. And now I'm pretty much hooked on it. It's extremely exciting when you can see the progress that you're making right before your very eyes. So thank you very much for tuning in to today's show. Hopefully it's been a real help to you and hopefully I can talk to you soon. And so until next time, everybody, 1, 2, 3, let's get it.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.